Not long ago, someone told me something amazing. They said that radio took 40 years to reach an audience of 50 million people, TV just 10 years, the iPod 5 years, YouTube 6 months, and Google Plus even faster than that. And this is Moore's law. This says that the number of transistors on a silicon chip will double every 2 years. Eric Schmidt of Google reckons that we now make as much information every 2 days as it took our ancestors since the dawn of civilization till 2003. Change is accelerating, we're told. It's less predictable now, you have to move fast or be left behind, old lessons no longer apply. Well, I'm Matt Edgar, and I don't believe a word of that. I'm here to tell you that you do not live in extraordinary times. You can relax. The pace of change is much as it's ever been. And this myth about accelerating change is not just disrespectful to our ancestors, it's also damaging to our future prospects. It starts from a generalisation. Did you notice how I started talking about TV and transistors, and then I was making wide generalisations about the world as a whole? But actually sectors vary. This is the Mallard. It went faster than the train that I travel on when I go to London. The phone I use is not my father's cell phone, but the car I drive would be recognisable to Henry Ford. So really, it's not just the individual technology, it's the whole stack. So radio, undoubtedly, a major technology underpinning lots of the things that we do today. YouTube, kind of built on the shoulders of television. Google Plus, something that appeals to 50 million men, women, children, spam bots, not really in the same league as radio. And it's very easy for us to think that those fast-moving things on top are important, when in fact it's the slow-moving tectonic plates that really make a difference. And it's really easy to show the story in reverse, to tell how technology moves slowly. Here's Claude Chappie in 1794, sending text messages at the speed of light. And there's Jack Dorsey inventing Twitter in 2006, and all you can say after 212 years is, what took him so long? Chalk and cheese. How do you use the number of transistors on a chip to measure an advance in, say, sanitation? How do you compare a 641-byte Shakespearean sonnet with a 10-megabyte cat video? These things are not really comparable. Here's the timetable for the Leeds mail coach. In 1806, you could send messages to London more frequently than I check my email. Elisha Gray and Alexander Graham Bell both invented the telephone and filed patents on opposite sides of the United States within hours of each other. It was as if they phoned each other up. But they didn't need communications technology for an idea to be in the air. So why does it feel like things are moving fast? I think it's just a trick of perspective. I think it's always been like this. The past is like the moon, fixed in the sky. It looks like it's standing still. Actually, it's whizzing past at about 2,000 miles an hour. And the dominance of digital in our culture shines such a bright light on the things that we see today that we forget how things were done in the past, how much easier they might have been or how different they were. It seems very arrogant for our generation to claim that we experience change any differently than, say, the Celts in Roman Britain or coal miners in the 1980s. I think those people endured some pretty drastic changes as well. Of course, it's true that the world's population is getting bigger. 7 billion people today, apparently. Today. 7 billion today. But David Ogilvy said, diversity is the mother of invention. And it worries me that globalisation might actually squash that diversity and make us all be the same, in which case having 7 billion people doesn't really help. In fact, the easiest way to squash that creativity would be to tell those people that the pace of change is accelerating out of their control, that their past experiences count for nothing, and that they have to do what we say or be caught up by the waves of change. Well, that's why it's so damaging, because true innovation really comes from people who are frustrated that the world isn't changing fast enough, not from people panicking that it's going too quickly. Jennifer Lamb was 3 years old when she took a photo with her dad's old-fashioned camera. And she said, "Why can't I see it now?" Her dad was Edwin Land, who spent the next 7 years inventing the Polaroid camera. So it was an invention born out of change because people were frustrated it wasn't moving fast enough, not too slowly. So change is the only constant, but as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. It's always been like that, otherwise it wouldn't be a constant. Thank you.